For more on the view at Obama headquarters these days, we're fortunate enough now to be joined by the campaign's chief strategist, David Axelrod. David, thanks for your time tonight.
Happy to be here, Keith. Thank you for having me.
Well, I imagine the mood is pretty positive, but give me some specifics. When you look at those battleground state polls, would you like to look at them, smile, and put them in your back pocket and not have anybody see them? Or what's the reaction to those numbers?
Well, you know, the fact is, one of the advantages of having run for 20 months is we've been up and down and sideways in polls. We've been misled by polls. We don't really set our course by these kinds of polls. What we look at is the enthusiasm that we see out in the field, the people who are knocking on doors, early voting, and so on. And those are positive signs. But the worst thing we can do is become complacent. The worst thing we could do is send a signal that somehow this is over. As Senator Obama said, this is going to be a battle every single day until November 4th. And we're not going to be celebrating prematurely. We're going to fight for this victory right to the end.
Do you think there's a chance you're being misled in Indiana? I mean, that's whatever else happens in this, that's an extraordinary thing to read about. That's not, there's no great Democratic tradition in that state, and that's a 10-point lead in the polls. It could be way off, and you could still be ahead significantly there.
Well, it's been 44 years since they voted for a Democratic candidate for president. But the truth is that Indiana, like so many other states, has really felt the lash of these Bush economic policies that Senator McCain essentially wants to continue. And I think people have said enough is enough. We want to change. Now, it's going to be close, and I'm not sitting here declaring victory in the state of Indiana, but I know this. We were there today. Senator Obama spoke to a huge crowd in Indianapolis, and the enthusiasm level was really something to behold. And so, you know, the objective signs are that things are going well there. And I spoke to a number of elected officials from throughout the state, including southern Indiana, which has been a particularly difficult terrain for the Democratic candidates. And they're all very bullish. So, you know, we're going to keep fighting for every vote in that state. And, you know, we're hopeful. It's our neighboring state from Illinois, and we'd love to put them in the Democratic column.
One poll we did not go into any detail about, but John Harwood mentioned it, and I think I'd love to know what you read of it. The Associated Press yesterday, the only one like this at the moment, likely voters, Obama 44, McCain 43. I mean, I know likely voters can be massaged any way a pollster's likes. You get a 100-0 score if you go with the right group of likely voters. But can you walk us through what this one means or does not mean?
Well, I don't know. I mean, what it means is that if they're right and everybody else is wrong, they're going to have a jubilant evening on November 4th, or at least their pollster is. But I think that everything, you know, the sampling in these polls is very important, and you have to look inside the internals. And one element of it suggested that, you know, close to 50% of the people there identified themselves as evangelicals in one of their runs, and so on. So, I mean, it's very hard to analyze this in isolation. I think you have to look at it in combination with all the other polls, as John suggested. And I do believe we're in a strong position, but we've certainly not won this election, and we're not going to treat it that way.
All right, ground strategy. These reports that McCain is focusing all his remaining resources on the states that George Bush won in 2004. Is there any sense that you need to play any measure of defense in that way? Any plans for the senator to campaign in any of the states that Kerry won in 2004?
Well, we're fortunate because we are well fortified. We believe in the states that Kerry won, and we're going to spend the preponderance of our time trying to expand the battlefield. You know, Keith, one of the things we started out to do at the beginning of this race is shatter this red state, blue state paradigm that we've been locked in for so many election cycles, and try and win in places where Democrats haven't won before. We have that opportunity now, and we're going to press our case in those states, and that's where we're going to spend much of our time. And you know, we feel good about it. Senator Obama was just in Florida and North Carolina and Virginia, and you know, the feel in all those states, in addition to Indiana, is very positive. We think we've got a great opportunity there, and we want to make sure we make the strongest possible case.
Two last questions. Next Wednesday, when you essentially buy up national television for half an hour on most of the channels, any clues yet as to what you're going to show people?
Well, you mean aside from the worst people in the world?
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Segment that we've built in there?
You're going to preempt that is what you're going to do. Any preview?
Well, You know, we've been circumspect about sort of talking about the format of it, but you can, I think, be assured that we're going to continue to make the case that we've been making, that the course we're on has led to a bad place, and that Senator Obama is offering ideas that can ensure that the next 4 years will be better than the last 4. And I think that's what people are looking for now. With all due respect to Joe the plumber, some of those debates have become a little draining. Okay. But I think that people are really looking for positive ideas about how we can raise incomes again, create jobs, rebuild the middle class, and in doing so, grow our economy again. And that's and Senator Obama, I think, is going to discuss in that half hour how we do that. And we're hoping that lots of folks will be watching, the few that aren't watching you.
Yes. Last point, obviously this is not really particularly relevant to the campaign, but it's the human equation, and people are interested in this as well. How is the senator, without going into details, this is obviously sad news about his grandmother's health. How is he? You saw him today. How is he?
Yeah. Well, thanks for asking, Keith. I think he's doing well. It's obviously a difficult time for him, but I think he's happy to have the opportunity to see her now. The doctor suggested this was the time to come, and so, you know, this woman is an extraordinary woman, and she played such a huge role in his life, and you know, I'm happy, and I think that he has the opportunity to go back there, you know, and share with her some of what has been going on with him, because she has so much to do with who he is and as a person. And so, you know, it's going to be a tough time, but I think the good news is that he's almost there, and he's going to get a chance to see her, and we're all happy about that.
Indeed. Better to be there than not, and the campaign affords that possibility is best of all. David Axelrod, Chief Campaign Strategist for the Obama campaign. Great. Thanks for your time tonight, David.
Thanks, Keith. Good to see you.